weeks later, he was doing the opening for the Kanatsiohareke College for the, not Goddard, I mean, Middlebury, for the graduation. And then he went to play his flute. And I was there because I was getting an honorary degree at the same time. Right? So I was there. But, he's playing the flute. I go, what's happening? He tried to trill in the end there. This time I haven't got any feeling. I go, yeah, but he's got all that.
My father-in-law used to teach in Jackson, and my wife is right there, Margaret, sitting there in the black. So anyway, which one? This?
Right there, yeah.
So, not to take up any more of your time, but I got to meet Jim and his significant other at the Harvest Festival. Right. I was helping out a little at that booth.
We'll talk about when we can try to get you involved in some of these things. Or it's just been crazy and hard to get in touch with everybody these days.
Yeah. Or if you want to go out and buy a cup of coffee and sit down and kind of know my background, which may help you understand a little better what can I bring.
I think that's good.
You know,
We have my email, we have all the contact.
you have all that stuff. I live right here in Saratoga, right here over on the east side. When I walk and retired now, I've got a lot more time. I've been doing stuff for decades, but we've never worked together. Thank you. Yeah, enjoy it today.
Testing. 24 to 60, 80. We do better than 2, 4 to 6, 8, you know. Just getting the levels back there to make sure everything is okay. Kwai kwai, ni do bak. Sego, go healed. Welcome, my friends. It's good to see you gathered here today in this place. We'll be doing a number of things for you today, some music, some storytelling. But most of all, we'll be celebrating and indicating our support for Kanatsiohareke, which is truly a place of the heart and the spirit, a place where the land is honored, where the people who have always been the people of this land open their arms to others and ask for your support. It's my great honor today to be able to introduce one of my dearest friends and a person I've always thought of as a mentor. He'll probably chuckle when I say that. My good friend Tom Porter, whose vision brought this to be, and whose words have for decades been an inspiration, not just to the world in general, but especially to our Haudenosaunee people, and the kind of balance that those words bring is very important. Although I'm introducing him, he's actually going to do the words that are always spoken before all others. So imagine that I'm not up here and that Tommy is going to be the first one to speak. And I'll bring Tom up right now, my dear good friend, Tom Porter, he who wins.
Again, everyone, my greetings to you. I'm going to, I want to tell you a little bit like a prime. You remember when you all have pumps for well? You have to prime it first. If you don't, you can do this all day and the water won't come out unless you prime it. Then the water will come out. What we call it, some people call it Thanksgiving address, and it is true. Some people call it opening prayer. It is true, but it's not exactly word for word from the Mohawk language. I will try to translate to you the real, what it means. We call it Ohondo Galihuadekwan, and it is used when you open a gathering of important things, issues of importance to be discussed. You say this before you do that. It opens all the meetings of our leaders, and it also closes it. Also, when little babies are born, little baby boy, little baby girl is born, seconds after you clear their nose and the mucus of birth from their mouth so they can breathe, you also say this to them when a baby is just born. And it is also the speech or the transfer of knowledge from the Creator to the human beings at the beginning of the world, when the world was first started and human beings were created, our great-great-grandmothers and great-great-grandfathers. And it was given to them by the Creator. And all the traditional Iroquois nation people still do this to this day when their babies are born and when they have meetings. So it's a vital, important issue that I want to share with you. When you hear me, when I do this, when you hear me say, and our mind is agreed, the old Mohawks, they will say, when they hear somebody say, our mind is agreed, they will say, toe. Like the toes on your feet, toe. That's the way the old Mohawk formally says yes, or they agree, toe. But I always tell people too, if you don't want to be a formal old antique Mohawk like me, you can be a contemporary old Mohawk. And you can say, uh-huh. But if you want to be a really modern, contemporary Mohawk or human, when you hear me say, and our mind is agreed, you can say, yeah. And it doesn't matter how you say it, as long as you say something. Because when you say to or yeah or huh, the tree is listening to you. The Mother Earth is listening to you. The waters are listening to you. The wind and the thunder, the sun and the moon and the stars are listening to you. And we are listening to you too. So all life is listening. So whenever you hear the speaker, which I will be, say, and our mind is agreed, don't just say toe, because that Mohawk River won't hear you. Say it so the birds will hear you. And when the birds hear you, they're going to tell all the other birds. I heard the humans today say they're grateful that they are living. And so that's the underline of this. But I'm also going to prime it some more so that the water can really flow. In the Mohawk language, I'm going to talk a little bit in Mohawk language, because our grandmother and our old leaders told us when we were kids that whenever we do spiritual things, that we are so talk in Mohawk, because that's what we are. But if you're a Seneca, then Creator give you Seneca language to talk. So spiritually, ceremony, you talk Seneca. Or if you're Lakota, then you talk Lakota. Or if you're Italian, then you talk Italian. Or if you're Russian, then talk Russian, if that's what the Creator gave it to you. But everybody is supposed to be proud of the language that the Creator gave to them. And when we speak those languages, the Creator is overjoyed because we didn't forget the present, the gift He gave us. And so because I'm a Mohawk, I'm going to begin, and then I'm going to transfer it to the English. But I just want you to hear what the old Mohawk language sounds like. Negadi ne shiwase jihunjade. Negadi wi wahe ne songoya diso jini huyelo. Ne wa sogoya duni ingwa sotsla gaha. Lunungwe dana gunungwe. Ne o gola dana ola dana ojiste. Ne walatste wa sogoya dunyo. Wahasa. Ona kadiwi wahe wasogotastanyo gunungwe dana lunungwe ohunjake. Agwego asishti ne laudi ni kungla toda detawa. Siji asishti. Ona kadi jiwa sogotastanyo songo ya diso jini huyelo. Ne kadi ne wasogo ni kunglata. Gego lunungwe dana gunungwe jini hu ni kunglo de songo ya diso. Dana do on hudi ni kunglo dahake ohondo yahawiston. That means at the beginning of time, the Creator had commissioned twin boys that were born into creation, and He empowered them, half of the world's power, each, the two twin boys, to make human beings. And so they did, upon the Creator's instruction, and He took the soil from the earth, and He took the water, and He took the air, and He took the power of Earth planet, and He took the power of the sky world planet where our great-great-great-grandma came from. And He combined those powers together. Then they call it Wasuguyaduni, means they created the human beings, who you and I are descended from them. And He used the fire to give them life. And when He finished firing them, that's why our body is warm. When you touch your partner or your friend, your family members, they're warm. Because the fire is still in us at the beginning of the world that they put in us, our grandmother and grandfather's body. And then when they took them out of the fire, He opened their mouth, the woman and the men, the first humans. And they blew in their mouth 3 times. And their eyes began to blink, and their fingers began to move, and arms and legs, and they had mobility. They became alive. And then the Creator and the twins stood those men and women upright on their feet, side by side, a woman and a man. But although they lived and breathed and they could walk, their mind didn't have no instruction, didn't have no recording of what they are to do. It was an empty mind, our great-grandmother and grandfather, because it was brand new. It's something like, remember when you would go to the store and buy a cassette tape to record a song or a speech? There was nothing on it, empty, until you recorded something. Now it has a knowledge that was recorded. Well, that's how our great-great-grandma and grandpa was. Their mind was empty tape, brand new. And so the Creator transferred his thinking to that first man and woman who are grandmother and grandfather of the way he thinks, our Creator, so that they will know how to live on the planet Earth. He instructed us how we are to behave and the respect that we should have every day. And this is the speech that babies are told seconds after they come out of the womb of their mother. These are the same speech that leaders use before they discuss decisions for our people, for the future. And this is how it's going to go. So whenever you hear me say, and our mind is agreed, you will say, you are all good Mohawks. In the language of Mohawk, when we say our mind is agreed, here's how we would say it in Mohawk. But I'm going to say it in English, but just so you know. Ndawalolak, yung gwa ni gula. Ndawalolak, yung gwa ni gula. Jinyole ska ni gula, unwadon. That means we will gather all our minds together until our minds all became one. Tone ona, then he says, Ihkadi niyuhtuhak, yung kwa nikula. And so our mind is all agreed. That's when you say, To. We got it now. And this talk was given to the black people, was given to the white people, was given to yellow people, and was given to the red people. All humans in the whole world was given this at the beginning when we first started the first human breath. But many people over the world has turned their back on these instructions that the Creator gave them and went on their own to the exclusion of the sacred world. And so here we go, and then you will understand. First, our Creator is a human, and our Creator is a buffalo, and our Creator is an eagle and the birds, and our Creator is every tree that grows in a forest. And our Creator is every stream and every river in the whole world. And our Creator is every star in the night sky. And when you add all of those things, life forms up, and you total it, the total of all life is what we call Creator. So you are part of Creator. I am too. And so are the birds and the water. Isn't that wonderful to know that? That's the way the Creator told us it will be. And so when we say Creator, we're not necessarily isolated in saying Creator is a man or a woman. It's all life in its total is what Creator is. It is man, and it is woman, and it is bird, and it is water. So with that, we will proceed. And so at the beginning of time, our Creator made us and put us on the earth. And then He told us everything. And He gave us everything we need to live at our fingertips, but never to abuse everything at our fingertips, never waste it, and never hoard it, but share. That's what the Creator said. And so when we think about it, when we look here in this room we gathered, or out in the streets here of this town, the city, or in the whole world, all the people. We are the miracles of our Creator. And we're still living since the beginning of time. That's a humongous miracle. And so what will we do about that? We will gather our minds again until we are one mind, and then we will put before us in the front many layers of thank yous, many layers of greetings, and many layers of love and compassion. And then you and I, on behalf of our family and our kids that are at home, and grandkids and great-grandkids, we will pick up that big pile of thank you, greetings, and love, and we will throw it into the universe. We say, Creator, thank you that you gave us the privilege, us humans, to live on the Mother Earth, and our mind is agreed. And then our Creator, He made human beings, which is what we are, men and women and our families. And so we are the ones that do ceremonies all the time to renew those instructions. That's what ceremony is about. Every year we rebuild the fire for our Creator and the commitment of this sacred world. That's what our longhouses are doing every day, every year. And so, as I look, I will quote one of our old chiefs, that was Kay Olan's grandfather, actually. And he was the leader in my family. They call him the horn leader, the Hanak Galine. He was a Kondo men leader for our clan for over 60 years. He passed away, he was 97. And I used to listen to him when I was young at the meeting at our longhouse. And I used to love it when I hear him do it. He goes like this. He said, I start and I go counterclockwise. And I look the whole room and I go around counterclockwise. Every woman, elder woman, middle-aged woman, teenage girl, a little baby girl in a cradle board. And when I finish going around and scoping it, I come to the conclusion, which I have just done, that the women so gathered here in our assembly today, from the eldest to the youngest, are the most beautiful women in all the world. And then he says, I will now start again. This time, I don't talk about the woman, I talk about the man. As I go counterclockwise and I see the elder men, middle-aged men and teenage men, and sometimes there will be a little baby boy in a cradle board. And as I scope them men, I notice when I finish that assembled here are the most dignified, respectable, handsome men in all the world are right here today. And so because when you put them together, all the men and women and here gathered, this is the most wonderful, most handsomest, beautiful group of people in all the world gathered today. And so now what we will do because of that, we will send to one another our thank you, our greetings, and our love to each other today, and our mind is agreed. And then it is that the Creator made the water in the river, in the streams, and the oceans. And He told the water that they will come from the clouds in snow or in water, rain, and they will come on top of the mountain or the hill, and then down the valleys through Saratoga Spring, or Kanatsiohareke, or Albany, or Rochester, or Syracuse, or Las Vegas. And when they pass where you and I's village is, that water was told by the Creator to quench our thirst every day so that we can live. And that water still does that. Still coming down the mountain. Still going past our towns and villages. No matter if you're a Mohawk or Russian or Italian. And that water is still doing what the Creator told them to do. And we live. And that's why we must respect all the waters in the world. For every drop that we swallow in our body brings peace and life tomorrow for our kids and our unborn. And so we gather our mind together as one now. And again, before us, we put many thank yous, many greetings, and many love and compassion, kindness. And then we throw this, you and I, with our kids, we throw this thank you, greetings, and love to the north, south, east, and west, to every creek, every river, every lake, every water in all the world. And we say, thank you, Water Spirit, that you still follow the Creator and Mother Earth's plan, and you give us life. Waters of the world, we thank you. Your children today says thank you with love today, and our mind is agreed. And then it is also that the Creator made the food. There's two kinds of food. One kind of food is domesticated. That's the one we plant it every year. And then we work it every summer. And then we harvest it every fall. Then we put it away for the cold winter months, just like a squirrel gathers nuts and hides it. That's what we do too. And then there's also the other food, they call it, that means they're free. They grow by the river, wild potatoes. You don't have to plant it. It just grows by the river. Big vines under the ground. Creator planted it, Mother Earth planted it. Then there's wild carrots and wild turnips. All kind of food out there. Strawberries, raspberry, blackberry, hickory nuts, pecan nut. We don't have to plant it. It just goes there. Created it. That's the second food. And so we put all the food together because the domesticated food has a leader called a corn, beans, and squash. We call them the three sisters, the three sacred sisters, the Haudenosaunee people. And we got songs for them, and we got ceremony for them. And when we sing that song and do that ceremony, all the gardens in the world feels good, and they grow strong and make lots of food for us if we sing for them. And so to all the food in the world, domestic and the free ones that we don't plant, we put many thank you, greetings, and love, big pile till it touches the ceiling of this room. And then you and I, with our children, we will pick it up and throw it east, south, north, and west. So every garden, every growing plant of food will receive our thank you and our love today, and our mind is agreed. And then again, there is the animals. And of all the animals, we're here where we live in the northeast, for the Haudenosaunee people. The Creator said the deer is going to be the chief of all the animals, big and small. And in the west, where the Lakota people lives, he told them the buffalo is going to be the leader over there. In different parts, it's got different leader, but here, it's the deer. And so, sometime when we walk around in the woods, we hear a noise, and there are bushes making noise, and we look. There's a big old deer with big horns looking at us, big brown eyes, ears propped up, listening to us, and then scampers into the woods. They're still living, and they're still giving. And we got ceremonies for them too. And so to all the animals, big and small in the whole world, you and I today will put many thank yous and greetings and love, multiple layers, until it too touches the ceiling. And then you and I will take parts of that big pile of thank you, greetings and love, throw it to north, south, east, and west. So every animal, big and small, will receive our thank you and our kindness, and then they will continue to live, and our mind is agreed. And then this is the one I love telling you about, because my grandma would comment on this part, and I think you will like it too. She says, and my leader says, when I was growing, "What's a good gun? I don't soon. Good egunukyo. And I got no one. That's so good. We got not soon. The Creator made birds to fly in the air at the level where our head is as we walk. They zoom by with all colors of feathers on them. Their feathers, colors, all different. And then our Creator gave each of them a different song to sing every day. And when He finished making many, many hundreds of them, making them beautiful, He chose the one that's called the eagle to be their leader, their prime minister or their chief or their president, the eagle. And He said to the eagle, "You will be the guardian. If danger comes where they live, you will holler and scream so they will be prepared for the danger." And then Grandma added on there, and she said, the Creator told them their job is the birds, because the Creator wants you and I, the humans, to smile and to be happy and joyful a minimum of 3 times per day. Grandma said He wants you and I, when we smile with joy, that our lips will go from ear to ear and our teeth will show all white teeth. I call that, I added on myself, the Colgate smile. Minimally 3 times per day. And Grandma said, if you fail to do this every day, 3 times per day, then you have missed the reason of why you were born on the earth. Might as well you were not born if you can't do that. And in order to guarantee that this shall be the case, the Creator gave the birds songs to sing by the hundreds of songs. And He told the birds, as soon as the night is going by and the dawn breaks of a new day, all you birds will get up and you will face the east, the rising sun, and you will sing your hundreds of songs. And when you birds sing your hundreds of songs, you will shake up the minds of all the humans and the animals. And boredom and lonesomeness will not find a home in their mind, but instead they will hear the joyous song of the birds singing a miraculous new day. And then their smile will be ear to ear with a good life. And so the bird still flies since the beginning of time, because the Creator told them to do that. That's their job. And so you and I, the people, and before us, we're going to put many thank yous, many greetings, and many love. And we pick it up and we throw it into the universe, so all the birds will hear us to say thank you, for them to sing for us. Thank you that you bring joy and remind us how to have happiness. To the eagle who protects us that we may live again, we say thank you, and our mind is agreed. And then it is to also now to the trees. The trees, all kinds of trees. But in the big forest of the many trees, the Creator chose the maple tree, sugar maple tree, to be the chief or the big prime minister of all the trees in the forest. That's how Haudenosaunee people knows it. Because when the snow of winter comes and the cold wind blows, and then it starts to go away, the snow, that maple tree is the first tree for its sap or blood to flow to wake up of a spring. It's coming. And the Creator told us when that happens, all the trees after will wake up again, and they will make leaves and lots of good food for the birds, the squirrel, and the people. And then you can cut the tree and you will save the sap, and you will cook the sap, and you'll make maple syrup. That's one of the sweetest things in all the world. We still do that. It's in our food every day. And the trees also is bring us hickory nut and pecan nut and hazelnut and all kind of nut. And then a hot summer's day when we're working in a garden, weeding the garden, and get hot and sweaty, we take a break and we look for a big tree next to the garden, and we'll sit in the shade, the coolness of its shade, and we'll take a relax and a comfort before we go back to work. Then our grandma and elder says, and the trees breathe, and they make the air, that's the oxygen they're talking about, that we need and necessary to breathe for the bird and the animal and the human. And then the other tree is the white pine, which says all people should bury their weapons of war under the Mother Earth and put the white pine tree in the top so there's no more war in the world, but there will be peace. That's what the Creator wants. And so to all the trees in the world, you and I, we put it many thank you and greetings and love. And to the four directions, we send it, those thank you, greetings and love, to every tree, so that when they hear our thank you and our greetings, they will energize and feel encouraged, and they will grow, and the air will be more, and the shade will be bigger, and the more fruit on that tree, apple and peaches and cherries and pears, so that we can live. And so the trees of the world, we say thank you with love today, and our mind is agreed. And then it is the four sacred wind the Creator made. And I like when my uncle said that part, because he explained it a little more. He says when Mother Earth gets tired of giving birth every day, and he says, I will make an example, he says, my uncle, like a woman, just one woman who has children. She gets up early in the morning. She have to cook food for the kids. She got to make sure they're clean and dressed. Make sure they're happy, and if they cry, make sure they're happy some more, not cry too much. And she works all day to make sure the family is good. And at the end of the day, she's tired. That's only she's got a few kids. But look at Mother Earth. She's got millions of kids all over the place. She gives birth every day. It's exhausting. Then she's got to feed every baby she has. And she does. So Mother Earth gets tired too. So Grandma and Uncle says, so the east and the north wind, who are twins, when they see Mother Earth tired and exhausted, they come and they bring a white blanket of snow, which is just around the corner. And they cover Mother Earth's body so she can rest from her exhaustion and how tired she is. And then after our Mother Earth has rested for some period of time, the other twin brothers of the south and the west are watching their mother, the earth. And when they see she has sufficiently rested, they come and they slowly and gently remove the white blanket of snow from our Mother Earth's body, and green grass covers Mother Earth wall to wall, and flowers of every color and every smell comes and fills the air, and little baby Mohawks are born again. Little baby Italians are born. Little Irish babies are born. little baby deer and robin hatches. And so to the four sacred wind who bring the changing of the seasons that we may live. Our mind becomes one now, we hear, and we put thank you, greetings, and love, and we throw it to all the directions, and we say to the four sacred wind, thank you that you bring the changing of the seasons. We say thank you with love today, and our mind is agreed. To the two suns in the sky, one is the daytime sun that shines the light. The other one is our grandmother, the moon, who shines at night. And she is our grandmother, the one that brought human life here, our great-great-grandmother, the moon. And that's why our grandma and our uncle and our aunt says, we call her Grandma Moon because she is the grandest of all women, the mothers. She is the one every 28 to 30 days, doesn't matter, white, black, Indian, or purple, pink woman. Okay, ladies, get ready every month. Fix your body so it becomes like a comfortable, soft bed where a little human baby can begin their journey to be born. And Grandma Moon regulates that as she rises the oceans up and down every day with her great power. Our birth came from her. Our children's born became because of her. And so to our birth and all our children's birth, and to the things that grow, Grandma Moon and Oh Brother Sun, we send our thank you, our love and our greetings today, and our mind is agreed. To the stars that fill the nighttime sky, that bring the morning dew on every grass in the dry time of summer, so there will be life. When our men and people travel at night and don't make it quite home during daylight, they won't get lost because they have to look at the stars and it will guide them back to their village even in the night. And so the stars also predict if this winter is going to be big snow, 15 foot high, or just little snow. The stars will tell us months in advance. Or if the summer's coming and flood is coming and too much water coming, the stars will tell us months in advance so our elders can see that and prepare so that we can live. And so there are helpers, the stars. And so to them, they tell us also when it's time to do our ceremonies. And so the stars, who nobody, an artist of all the world, can paint more beautiful than the stars that fill the night sky. For their great beauty, if only that we know is sufficient to say thank you to the stars of the night sky, and our mind is agreed. And then there are four sacred beings that are the unseen forces. We call them the sky dwellers. They don't have no face and they don't have no body that you can touch them, but they can touch us like the wind. You can feel them when they're in our presence. And how you know when they're here is your hair will stand up on the back of your neck, or you'll get goosebumps all over your body. That's because those four sacred beings are in our presence. They are the ones, when we forgot how to be humans, were sent by the Creator to be born as a human, to reteach us the great prophets of all the nations of the world that came from that four sacred beings, the protectors of life. And so to those four protectors, they gave us our drum, our rattles, our great feather dances, all our ceremonies, our clans, everything that we believe. That's who gave it to us, direct from the Creator. And so to them, we say thank you with love, and our mind is agreed. And then finally, we get back to our Creator, which is all life in its total. And you and I will marvel at the miraculous creation of this whole universe, which is our Creator. And we put thank you, thank you, thank you, greetings and kindness and compassion and love and everything big fills this room And you and I, on behalf of our children, we pick it up and we throw it high in the universe and we say, Creator, thank you for the miracle that we are still living today and since the beginning of time. And with that, that's the Reader's Digest of the opening. That's the original instructions the Creator gave to every human, how we're supposed to relate to this planet they call Mother Earth. And so with that, I hope you take that message to your families and to your families' friends. And maybe some of those friends are congressmen or assemblymen or presidents or prime ministers. And maybe they too will honor our Creator. Thank you.
Oh, Tom. I'm sure everyone here knows where and what Kanatsiohareke is, but in case you don't, you should understand that the Kanatsiohareke people, the Mohawk people, as we call them these days, are from this land. This area where we are now, what they call the Kateros Patent, was created with the signatures not of all, but of some of the Mohawk leaders of that period. That the Mohawk people were the allies of the British, and after the Revolutionary War, were still the ones who were fighting even before, even after the British had quit. They were great warriors and remain so to this day, warriors for peace. And that this land had to be vacated by them. Many went to the north, some went to the west. But there was a prophecy, that Tom knows, that people would always, someday, come back to this place. And for many years,